Hello, and welcome to Cinemania with Ellis Charles Hoffmeister. Today is Friday, April 28th, and I'm going to talk about a few films that I watched over the last couple days, starting with the incredible Beau is Afraid, which I would happily say is the best film I've seen of this year so far. It is also the biggest anxiety nightmare of the year. The director, Ari Aster, it's his third feature, and he described it as a Jewish Lord of the Rings about someone trying to get back to their mom's house. Stars Joaquin Phoenix, Parker Posey, Patti LuPone, Zoe Lister-Jones, and a handful of other actors. And it is, Amy Ryan, Nathan Lane. It is a hallucinatory nightmare, for sure. And it is one of those films that I saw in, the Angelica East Village Cinema, which is always the best theater to see because it's just this beautiful old historic building. And, I've seen 2001: A Space Odyssey and 70mm there, and Hateful Eight and 70mm there, and it's, the most beautiful theater in New York, I believe. So if you can see Beau is Afraid, see it on the biggest screen with the best sound. The sound was incredible. From the beginning until the end. And it's very interesting because the film to me almost felt, they describe it as Kafkaesque, but I would describe it as it almost feels like it's Tarkovsky at a certain point. But it is Ari Aster's third feature after Hereditary and Midsommar, and I also saw the director's cut of Midsommar in that exact same theater, but not in the same theater within the theater, if you know what I mean. But Beau is Afraid, it's the best film of the year so far. I think it will, I don't know who I would recommend it to. I mean, because it is so nightmarish and anxiety-inducing, but it's also so incredible that how could I not recommend it? I mean, it's also a beautiful entry into his kind of motherly guilt cinema, and Patti LuPone burns it down. And also it has maybe the funniest sex scene of the year, along with just some of the most nightmare-inducing sequences of all time. And there's also some incredible animation by the animators who did The Wolf House. I loved it. It was beautiful. So I watched that. I watched Larry Cohen's The Stuff, which I had never seen before, with Michael Moriarty, and it is a hoot. Paul Sorvino is hilarious in it. And, I'm a big fan of Larry Cohen's A Return to Salem's Lot, which is a funny little sequel, and also Tara Reid's cinematic debut. But it has a soft spot for me, so The Stuff to me is a hilarious send-up of consumer culture and kind of the culture we're in right now, which is just hysterical. And I would give it, I'd give it probably like 3 out of 5 questionable edible substances, or a child eating shaving cream. Beau is Afraid, I would definitely give 5 out of 5 Patti LuPones. If that's how we're measuring things. And then I watched The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Is that the name of it? I think it's... No, that can't be right. Let me figure out what that is. It's The Unbearable Weight of... whatever that Nicolas Cage movie was that people were talking about. It is definitely The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Yeah, I got that right. Which is hysterical. And Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal are just fucking delightful, along with, Sharon Horgan and the whole Tiffany Haddish, Ike Barinholtz, the whole ensemble. Is it Lola Sheen? Kate Beckinsale and Michael Sheen's child. But it's a lot of fun, and it's also hilarious, and if you are a fan of Nicolas Cage, it is definitely hysterical, and I would recommend. I'd give it probably 3 out of 5. Nicolas Cage making out with Nicholas Coppola in a young, wild at heart outfit from that one show where he did that interview. Okay, that's what I got. I mean, we're right. Yeah. And then if I were to recommend a film that you should watch over the weekend, I would say... I don't know, I'm speechless. Why is it so hard? I'm just like looking over there at what films I have on my list. Body Heat. That's what I'd recommend if you've never seen Body Heat, because I was watching that the other day and it is just sexy, sexy, sexy town. So, and it's really funny because right now everyone is obsessed with erotic thrillers because people can't quite figure out how to do them in this day and age. But you know who did figure it out was Park Chan-wook, because Decision to Leave is the sexiest movie of last year and of many years. It's so hot. Decision to Leave. Just go watch Decision to Leave. Okay. Have a great weekend.